Let's just do a quick tutorial on indicators, where you should buy in, how to use your indicators, when the price action goes from red to green, where you're entering stop loss, and then your entire plan and the ideal of making money. Now we're in algo. Algo already made the money. Now we're going to push backwards, and we want to kind of like go through the trading process, right? So the first thing here is we look for price action, right? And as we can see here, we're getting price action happening on this one particular section here. As we can see, it goes from red to green. Now, we focus on 30 minutes and above. Now, to chart out a proper, like an ideal of what you could have made on a profit, you slide over here. And this is going to let you use a tool that is basically upgraded, bro. Way baked upgraded. All right, so this will let you know that when you're looking at these moments here, right? So this will let us go through the how to use the indicators, but also how to move your stop losses. So this way, when you have 2 out of 10 trades that break even or don't do the 2% that we need, you're not losing any real profits on there. So on this particular move here, we have a 30-minute option here. And I want to take a look at the, I'm going to kind of set it up here. And what I'm looking for is price action that went red to green, right? Right in that area. And I'm going to put a line through that. And that's just so I can go back and I can take a look at the 1 hour versus the 30-minute, right? So that's what I'm doing right here. Let me turn that yellow. All right, perfect. Okay. And this is kind of where the example is when you have a 30-minute, right? So a lot of times you're using the 30-minute time frame for coins that are like micro, right? So if they're under, normally rule of thumb is 10 cents and below, you're kind of like a micro, or 1 penny, you know, like 1 penny and below, you use the 30-minute, right? So if you're a penny and below, you use that. Once you get above 5 cents, 10 cents, you have to use an hour. So you want to use an hour time frame, and I'm going to show you why. And you can kind of see them both here. So what we're going to do here is, this is going to be, I'm going to do the 30-minute time frame. We're going to make them purple, okay? That's the 30-minute, and then the 1 hours will be yellow, okay? And I want to kind of go through here real quick and show you what I'm talking about. So yeah, the 1 hour right here went from red to green. So this is the 1 hour time frame, right? And now what I'm going to do here is the next time it happens, I'm going to put in my line, which is right here. And we're just going to go through here. We're just going to mark up the price action changes from red to green. And we're just going to get an idea of what's been happening over the last, you know, so many trades, so that you guys can see the difference of time frames and how to decide what's a better time frame on your micro or your larger cap, right? So I think these right here will be a nice little kind of like good examples to look at. And then come back and like really adjust to it. Okay, so and we'll settle up on this. All right, so now that we got that there, we're going to switch over to the 30 minutes. Now the 30 minutes that's where we're going to use the purple line so we can see the difference between how the indicators are acting on a 30-minute and a 1 hour, right? So micro coins like 1 Earth, things under a penny, I like to use 30 minutes. Anything above that, I like to use an hour, right? And let's take a look here and find out what we got here. Okay, all right. And you can just look at a coin, and sometimes, you know, depending on how it's set up, you can use the 30 or the 1 hour and be profitable. Okay. As you can see on the 30 minute, we got so many fake outs on this coin. And we're going to go back and look at the volume because you need two indicators to basically let you know that you're going ahead here. I'm going to show you on these right here. All right. All right, so let's start here. So first things first. Two things that we need to happen here, right? Just joined. Okay, all right, hold on. No email yet. Someone just joined. All right, so if you just joined, give them a second. They're getting that out there. Guys, if you're sending over Bread boy. All right, I got a couple responses back here. Let me upgrade you guys. If you just signed up, guys, give them about 5 minutes to get it. Check your, what's it called? Your spam folders. Check your spam folders. Andrew, I got you back here. All right, Andrew Hoff. Okay, Andrew's in there. Salam. Oh, okay, Daytona. So Salam, I got you right here. Patel, give me 1 second. Dayton AGT. All right, Patel, go check. All right, so now, Red Boy, good to go. Perfect. All right, so let's get you guys set up here. All right. So now let's take a look here at how to judge, should you be pressing on a 30-minute or using the 1 hour. And this is how you go back, check, and we're going to take a look at algo to see how much money we could have made. All right, so the first move here is anytime that we have an indicator, right? So if you're buying on the 1 hour, you're selling on the 30-minute. Get it? Buy 1 hour, sell 30-minute. Buy 1 hour, sell 30-minute. If you're buying on the 30-minute, you're selling on the 15-minute, right? You go down to the next indicator, okay, guys? Now, this is kind of interesting because this is going to show us whether or not on algo should we be using a 30-minute indicator or a 1 hour, right? And a lot of times the 30 minutes is going to give you a little more like false breakouts, and if it's doing it a lot, you want to avoid it. So let's just take a look here. First things first, you need your indicator to basically break from red to green, right? So here's a buy signal. Second thing we need is down here, right? So this is the most important thing. It's our volume. These are our MAC volumes, our MACDs, right? So here's our money MAC. It's negative here. What's your did you who was that? Jabito, did you sign up for the indicators, Jabito? Jabito, did you sign up for the indicators? Did you go to link in my bio and join the VC Trading Academy? Let me stream this out real quick and then I'll get to you guys. All right, what's your what name is it under, bro? What's the first name? Or sign up in the Discord and send an email with your Discord name. All right, so let's take a look here, and I'll get to you real quick after this. All right, so here's your indicator. This is the 30-minute entry. This is the 1 hour entry, right? First thing we're looking at is our MACD. It has to be moving upwards and above the positive section here, right? So now we go across. We see that we turn positive. So this buy-in right off this next candle would be good. And on the 1 hour, which would be here, we'd be entering here. So let's take a look at the profit margins on this particular trade. So first things first, we go over here, click the long position. This entry would have been off of this play here, which means at this level here, you would have bought in at their 0.1692 or this lower candle here. And at that point, you would have ran that up, and then this would have gave us almost a 1.8%. So we would have been close to a 0.5% stop loss here. So when you first entry here, right, your entry goes off of this candle, your stop loss goes off of this candle here. So 1687, entry 1692, and then you're not moving until you hit your 1%, which would be right here. Then you would move into your 0.5%, which is right here. Where you at? Right around that area. So you want to work off this, right? So 1%, you move your stop loss to your entry, which you did here. So 1% entry position. Now, as the next move from your 1%, would be when it reaches its 2% mark, which basically is right in this zone here. Now that it's reached its 2% mark, or 1.5% mark, right? Because you want to stay 1% behind. So 1%, your stop loss is entry. 1.5% gains, your stop loss is moved to the 0.5%. 2% gains, your stop loss is moved to the 1%, right? Which would have gave you in here, you would have been basically moved your stop loss to your 1%. Your coin would have continued up to your 2.5%. You should have moved your stop loss up to your 1.5% or left it at your 1%, doesn't matter. And what happened here on this trade is that eventually, after it hit its 2%, which is where you should be taking at least 50% profits because our goal is 2%, we got our 2% win right here. And at that point, if you move your stop loss as it goes up to 2.5 and etc., you move your stop loss up to 2% or 1.5%. When it came back down, it would have sold on you on a stop loss right at this level. So you would have broke at about 1%, 1.5%. So it would have been a half of what we wanted to kind of make there. So it's not a winning trade in my opinion. It's kind of like, okay, at least it made a little profit, but it's not the profit that we want. So that would have been based off of the half hour, and then the 1 hour would have bring you up to this candle here, and that would have ended up in the same situation, and you still would have made your 2% gain there. So you still would have made your 1%, whether it's the 1 hour or the half hour. It doesn't really matter on that one. Now as we move down, we come across, and this is our half hour. Now this is what I mean here. So the half hour is triggering a buy zone here, but the indicator's saying buy, but then we have a MACD saying buy. But as you can tell, that this was it's kind of like what we call a fake out. It didn't do anything there. So that right there is why on the anything above a penny or 5 cents, you want to use the 1 hour, because here that would have been a fake out. That would have been a loss of 4% of your bag, because if you're buying into a coin and you're paying trading fees, right? And then this one here, let's take a look here. And this fake out right here would have got you in a position here. Now it's still rolling to 0.5%. So I mean, it depends on what leverage you guys are using. Like you can make money on 100% leverage, etc. But remember, we're using a very simple system here. We're using 10 and 20x, right? Which means we need a 1% move and a 2% move. So this 0.5% move, this is like a fake out. It's no good right there. Now, so this is why using algo, you want to use your 1 hour, right? So anything less than 30. But this is how you guys can look at a coin and be like, okay, this is I can't use my 30-minute time frame here. I need to stick with the 1 hour like VC says. Now you come down here. Here's another fake out that we would have lost again on another fake out on the 30-minute, right? Another fake move. But as we come down here, here's our 1 hour. So our 1 hour buy would have been in this zone here. And this 1 hour candle would have got us somewhere in this position here, and the 1 hour would have gave us our little push move 1.5%. So we would have been at 0.5%, and right there we would have closed out at our 0.5%. Now that's kind of where we want a fake out to be, where the fake out still makes us a little bit of profit and we're moving on, right? We don't want to be in positions where we're not hitting our goals. Now the difference is, when you're trading off of the lower time frame. So here's our 1 hour, right? 1 hour hits, we're green here. Let me go to the 1 hour here. So this half hour here, this would have gave us a slight, kind of like a win in here. That was a 2%, but that's after 2 fake outs. So 2 out of 10 of the trades would have been fake outs on that. And here I'm just happier using a 1 hour position with this higher coin, because it's just avoiding the fake outs there. And we'll make more videos on this so you guys can kind of like see what I'm talking about of like getting into certain time frames that work, right? Now this 30-minute time frame here actually goes for a pretty decent run. But we would have already been here on this 1 hour here. So this push and this pullback, this 1 hour entry here would have kept this trade going. So that's where using the 1 hour, we would have been on a different entry and a better positioning here. And that would have basically allowed us to ride this trade all the way up in a better position. Now here the half hour triggers on a nice little trade, but the 1 hour also triggers. So I just, on the higher money, it's just a lot of times you want to be working on the 1 hour time frame so you're not getting into these fake outs. But you can look at coins and make a decision whether that coin does really well every time, or does it have more fake outs on the half hour. And this is kind of what I want to show you guys. Now here's another trade on the half hour. It did hit the 2% mark there. And the beautiful thing about the fake outs is that, let's say that 3 out of 10 of the trades are fake outs, right? So let's say you're doing a 30-minute time frame and it's giving you a couple fake outs, right? So this is the worst case scenario. You enter a trade and you put the stop loss back about 0.05%, so a 0.5% back, and it's a 10x, right? Which means that that's a 2.5% loss. Okay, so moves back 0.5%, you lose a 2.5% loss plus the cost of trading, which is 10%, right? So on $1,000, that trade would be $120 on a loss, right? And yeah, so $120 on your 2 fake out trades. So you're down $120 getting into the fake out trades, right? Now, when the trade comes back and it hits the 3% move and you're moving accordingly, you're getting back the 2% trade that you were in times your 10, which is your 120. So 3 trades, you end up breaking even, right? And now you're moving back across. And here again, see these smaller trades, these half-hour trades are just, you're better off waiting for the 1 hour, right? So now let me go to the 1 hour and kind of show you the difference when you're working off of a 1 hour. Using the proper time frames are huge, right? And this is why we do a lot of training, right? So going back to the 1 hour, which is a lot different. So here's our 1 hour trade here. We lock in a position and we're waiting for our volume to move up. It cuts in half. So we'd be entering on this trade here. Now, our stop loss starts off at 0.5. And then as soon as you move this up to a 1% gain, which is literally right there, that's when you would go into moving your stop loss to your entry price, right? So on this move here, you would be on your stop loss. Then from there, the next move would be the 2% or 1.5% mark. You want to stay within 1%, right? 1%, right? So 1.5% means that you should move your stop loss to the half, right? You're always 1% behind. So here's your 1.5, which would get you to move your stop loss to a 0.5%. And then as this coin crosses over the 2% mark, you would be setting your stop loss at the 1% mark in this zone here, ensuring that no matter what happens, you're taking the 1% profit regardless of whatever happens, which is right in that zone there. And what most people are doing is they're being very like cut and dry, and as soon as they're getting to their 2% mark and they're seeing it kind of like push through, they're just setting the stop loss at the 2% profit, which would be this level right here. And they're just literally putting a stop loss and then they're just closing out right there. Because the goal is very simple, right? The goal is to take the 2% gain, call it a day. you need to do 10 of those 2% gain trades every 14 days, okay? 10 every 2 weeks, right? So this one right here, this one was a successful trade, right? So we leave that there. That's a successful trade. This was on December 22nd. Now we move across. We get to another one, and this one is on December 25th. So 3 days later, we get into another trade on algo. And this trade is a long position. We're going to jump in. Obviously, our MACD went to the positive side, so we're getting in. Right there. Now, once again, the 1.5% move, which would have came somewhere around there, means that our stop loss would have moved to our 0.5%. So this right here. So you're entering on this candle right here, right? So you see the 1 hour, you enter here. All right, let me smooth this over. There you go. So you're in on that candle right there, right? Now, as soon as this candle hits 1%, you always get 10% right out the gate. So moving our stop losses again, right? So here we go. Here's our candle. Here's our green. Here's our entry, right? As soon as this candle gets over the 1% mark, which it did right in here, we move our stop loss from the bottom of this candle to the entry price, right? Now, the entry price is making its move. It's trying to peak. It's going up and down. And a lot of times, this is where, when you're trading on the hour candle, you can move your stop loss at a easier pace, right? Meaning that as soon as it gets to the 1% mark, you move to the entry, right? Which would have been right here, it hit 1%. So your stop loss would have moved into your entry position, which is right here, okay? Now, the next position that you're going to move is when the coin reaches 2%. It didn't reach 2% here. It pulled back. It didn't stop loss you out because you're below that. And then it went on its run. Now it hit 2% right here, right? That's where you move your stop loss up to your 1% mark, which would be right here. So now that you're at 2%, you move your stop loss up. And now you're on this run. Once you reach 3%, right? Now you're at 3%. Now you move your stop loss up to your 2% mark. Which is right there. And now you're in your profits, right? You got your 2% mark, you're in your profits, and it's still running. But no matter what, you're taking your 2%. What's your, hold on, man. Give me 1 second. So now your stop loss moves up, and now your, and this is based on 3%. So your 3% came right here. Okay, that's your current price. But your stop loss is here. So now that you're at your 2%, you've got your profit, you're at a 3% move. Now when 3% becomes 4%, which it does right here, you're going to move your stop loss to your 3% move, which is right in this zone. And it can be below the 3%. It doesn't have to be perfect. So it can be right in here. And now, as this starts to move up, it goes to 4%, and then it starts to come down, and eventually it triggers out, and boom, you're done. But that was a 3% gain on that move, which basically means we hit our 2%, plus we got an extra percent, which makes up for the trades if you have any bad trades on the 1 hour. But so far, we've hit the two trades we were supposed to hit, we hit. So now we're moving to the next trade, right? Remember, we're only doing 10 trades at 10%, right? So this trade right here would be somewhere in this position here, and we'd be looking for the same thing. It gets to 1%, what do? You go to your stop loss, you move it to your entry. It moved up to here. This is considered a fake out. It goes to 1.5%, which is where you would move your stop loss to the 0.05% mark, or leave it at your entry mark, and this would have got stopped out. And that trade right there would have been basically a fake out trade. You would have ended up even on that trade or losing 1%. But since you gained 1% on the trade earlier, this trade is washed out, right? So it just washes out. So now you go down, and now we're looking for the next 1 hour trade. That's the trade that we're currently in. This trade has produced the 4% margin, and we put our stop loss at 3%, which would have been stopped out right now. So now here's another 3% gain. The 2% that we want, which gives us a third 3 out of 10 trades in the last 14 days. But it also gave us an extra 1%, which pays for the fake out trade. So this is why it's important to learn that when you're trading above a 5-cent coin or 3-cent coin, you want to use the 1 hour. I love the 1 hour. Only when you're below a penny, like 1 Earth or some type of thing like that, you'll be using 30-minute time frames. But you should always go through and mark 30-minute buy-ins with purple and 1 hour buy-ins with yellow, and then go back and measure the profits on the earlier trades that you would have taken, and see if there's a lot of fake outs, or if the 30-minute is profitable, then you can use it. But if it's not, just stay with the 1 hour, guys, okay? And that's pretty much how to do that. I'm going to make more videos on this until you guys understand what I'm saying.